Hello guys, good morning. First things first, coffee, the only good thing left in the whole of the world, or so it's beginning to feel. So I got a comment from the Green Wizards. Let me look it up, it's not very long, but my memory is incredibly bad. Like, who am I? Who am I? What am I doing? What is this? What's this? Oh, it's coffee, ha. Yeah. He says, those moments of you're in hell and there's no escape from it are truly terrifying. In fact, I've had some good comments here. But yeah, it's all baiting, endgame. He says, yes, these videos are staged, you know, that I talked about in my last videos. He says it's part of the illusion. Same goes for the mail, the post, yeah, as we call it in this country, in the Matrix. The Matrix sends you mail. They do it all the time, it's true. It's all about making us live in fear continually. So they try and pull a reaction out of you. They trick you to give up on your free will and buy into the illusion, which is based on fear. He's absolutely right, endgame. The Matrix now bombards me with letters because I don't send my daughters to school and didn't go to the doctor with her for mandatory routine screening. I just burnt the letters. I treat it like the illusion that it is. I had the greatest synchronicity when I dumped Matrix letters in the fire. There was a one phoenix claw looking branch left before I extinguished the fire. The Matrix theatre is about to collapse. Another one here, and I am mentioning your comments here, presuming that you don't mind me doing so on account of otherwise you wouldn't have left a comment, because I strongly resonate with these comments, and it just shows all of us that, you know, we are in this, we're not alone, people. We you know, it's so easy to think that we're wandering around in this dark place, which is getting darker and more insane by the day, and to feel completely isolated and feel completely alone, especially in light of the experiences we're having with this thing we call reality, the realm, and the denizens of it. I'll get to that in a minute. It's truly, it's just a whole new level of awakening, I feel, and whenever that happens, it is literally like in your face, because you're seeing it even more clearly for what it really is, and it is a shocker, no doubt about it. So another comment, it's like people are losing their minds, just my observation. I'm just trying to stay away from it, keeping my head down, working on myself and getting out in nature as far away from all of this as I can. I've already lost pretty much everything other than myself. Yes, well, that is what happens to many of us. I remember many years ago I had loads of friends, well, people I thought were friends. And as my awakening deepened, I lost them, one after the other after the other. I just no longer resonated with them, or we fell out and I left my life, or we fell out and I left their life, or they moved away, or some of them have died, whatever. It's all par for the course. There was somebody else I know, a subscriber and friend, who talked about the whole walk-in thing. So I was thinking about that, because I must admit that the father of a friend of mine went to a Navy reunion over ages ago, 12 years ago. And he was a very active man, he was full of life, he was funny, he was vivacious, you know, He went to that reunion, and he had some sort of episode in his hotel, and he was never the same again. And I saw his eyes go black, and it was all very strange, and it was all downhill until, you know, he died last March. And we're all very sad about that, because we miss him. But it's like something happened to him. it was like the old beat was gone and something new had taken its place. It was odd. It's as if, so I don't even really know where to start. This is the thing, is I reckon it's going to get increasingly difficult doing these videos and actually finding a way to put it into words, to put this experience into words and to cover all the angles, because for most of it I don't actually have any language at all. So, but this deep sense of a shock. I am actually in shock and I am in pain. It hurts so much and I am feeling such strong emotions of, like I said before, extreme hatred, extreme rage, because I know what's been done. I know how. There's one thing that I've noticed, for example, that's just one example, where my whole life I honestly felt that the best way to get through life, and this was all programming, was to be kind, to be considerate, to be compassionate, to be nice, to have empathy, to care. To be outward focused at all times and always on the lookout. Does anybody need anything? Does anybody need oh, you need help, oh, I'm there, you need help, I'm there, oh, you poor thing, oh, you poor thing, everybody's a poor thing. Their behavior is bad because it's not their fault, they're wounded. But increasingly, I began to realize, well, hold on a minute here. Oh, there's a woman who lives near here, for example, who's, yeah, she is very wounded, but her behavior is shockingly appalling. Actually, you know, and it just brought it back to me even more. It was like, well, there you go, Anika. Okay, so these people that are not people are very wounded, ergo their behavior is really bad. But I'm like, yeah, but hold on a minute. Ask yourself this question. Do you behave that way? No, you don't. I'm really wounded, but I don't go around abusing people. I don't go around behaving in a way that hurts others. It's like I went to the health food shop and I went in there. And it's the usual conversation, oh, how are you? You know, and I'm the sort of person now, I don't pretend anymore and I don't lie anymore. If you want to know how I am, if you're asking me how I am, then expect to get the truth. So I said, actually, I don't feel great and I'm really exhausted. Oh, yeah, so I'm really exhausted as well, but I'm not going on holiday and, right? Now that really upsets me and that hurts my feelings. That is not acceptable behavior. If you want to know how I am, genuinely ask me, listen to my answer, and then let's have a conversation about how I'm feeling, how you are feeling, but let it be reciprocal, right? Instead of, oh, I've asked you how you are, you've told me you're not very well, but I don't really care because I just want to talk about myself, basically. That's it. And this comes from a person that I like generally, a person that seems very compassionate and very empathetic, but how, basically just, it's always that way. It's always that way. The exchange is always like that. I always get this sense of being pushed out. You're being pushed out. It's like, no, how you mustn't even go on about how you're feeling. You get a sense of guilt, a sense of being pushed out, a sense of, I'm trying to think of the word for it, abashed, bashful. Yeah, you know, like, oh, better stay quiet, better make myself small, better disappear altogether, something like that, because it's as if that feeling again of you don't deserve to exist here, you don't belong here, you don't deserve to exist here, we don't want you here. They, I think, are incapable of actually really going within and changing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Our virtual is their reality. this reality, this realm, call it what you will, the Matrix, is way, way, way beyond redemption. We exist within it, and it has programmed us to think and feel and behave a certain way. All of that thinking and that feeling and that behaving is extremely detrimental to souled people. It causes a schism within us where we literally walk away from ourselves, abandon ourselves, where our innate and natural wholeness is broken apart. We're made to act against our own interests. I was stood there in the shop literally, and how are you, Anika? Oh, I'm really tired, I'm not feeling very well. Yeah, I'm really tired as well, but oh well, I'm going on holiday next week. And it hurt my fucking feelings, and it pissed me off. A lot. And I didn't say anything because I knew that there is absolutely no point that she will get it, or it will just cause more problems. There will be antagonism, and I just can't handle that anymore because I am in so much fucking pain, emotionally, mentally, and physically as well, that's like a tiny drop and boom, it will just literally spill over. I can't cope. All the baiting that's going on of police coppers literally murdering people, choking people, and then there's this thing of a daughter who actually French kisses her dad on Australian radio for £1,000, which is all there to bait and to elicit a reaction of vitriol, of hate, of rage. You go out there, well I go out there, and it is full on. People are driving like they want to be in an accident. It's what they want. People are verbally abusive. Any television series of films or anything, it's like I tried to watch Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade last night, and it was like, nah, don't care for it. I don't, there is nothing here for us, people. There is nothing here for us. This place is an abomination. It is. I come across people who claim to be going within, and clearly they're not going within. They don't even know what it means. Going within means that you question your own emotions, that you question your own thoughts, that you question your own behavior. It means you're not in a comatose state anymore, just going along with it, with the script of acting out and reacting blindly without questioning, oh, why do I feel this way? Why am I feeling like this? What does it mean? It means doing the work, but I think there's a shitload of people claiming to do that who are not doing it. And that's not my business, that's in their business, but what I'm saying is that I don't think they're real. I think we're dealing with mimics. They're these NPCs, highlights, whatever you want to call them, that are very good at pretending to be real people, soul people, and you get involved with them, and that means that you give them your energy. You just do, you get involved with them. And they're so good that you care about them and that you give them your emotion. It's like with the woman in the health food shop. I liked her a lot. And there was a thing, and it was like, yeah, or I thought there was, but now I've woken up to a whole new level where I realise I can see clearly now the mechanisms there. You know, it's like, oh well, Anika, you need to stop doing that. Oh, just a minute, guys. What's up, son? Come here, then. Yes, okay, baby. You want a little cuddle with mommy? Just a little cuddles. Oh. You know, there was a level of non-awareness there for me, where I was going in, and then it was like, oh, isn't it good to focus on other people, and isn't it good to be kind and to ask her how she is, and to show an interest and to show that you care. All of that was going on there. And that's been so ingrained in me to be that way, that it's like a junkie looking for a fucking fix. I hate to say it, but there it is. It's like some of us are addicted to being good and kind and considerate and loving and giving. And we're feeding the matrix by doing it. We really are. We're in a state of non-awareness. Well, I am not like that now. It's really yet another layer of that's come up and said, look, there you have it. You're always asking her how she is. She always talks about at length how she is. You sit there, you listen, you give advice. You're very good at that. But you're not getting anything. You're not being asked how you are. You're not being asked what's happening in your life. There is no interest in your life at all. You used to be okay with that. You never even noticed, Anika. But now you do, and you realise that this is not okay. This is not okay, people. That is not how you conduct a relationship. But it makes me realise how utterly dysfunctional and distorted and fucked up everything and everybody is. Not just people, animals are as well. It's appalling. Everything is grotesquely distorted and dysfunctional here. People cannot conduct relationships, have friendships, have working relationships, get together and sort shit out. I mean, the so-called protests in London that were held last week, well, already there's a massive schism. There's already a rift because people are falling out with each other. People are fighting over taking credit for who did what. You see what I mean? Already it's got fissures, and this is the divide and conquer. But when I say the divide and conquer, this goes very deep. This is a multi-spectrum mind control technique that literally fucks us up by fucking up our internal worlds, our self, our I am. When that has been broken apart, when we are completely broken within and don't even know that, then that nothing good can happen, nothing good can come out of that. There cannot be any growth. We have to acknowledge this fact. We have to understand that this is not just happening on the external. It all springs from within here. We came into this realm and we were under heavy assault. Our I am, that which we truly are, which we don't even know. We lost ourselves. We became lost. We were lost. We were lost. We were like Alice in Wonderland. But Alice in Wonderland, of course, is a nice little story that ends well. We just don't know the full story here at all. And from a day-to-day thing, like Ducky, the Green Wizard, says, we feel we're in hell. Well, some of us do, because, again, it's all where you're at. What layer, what level are you at? I mean, true souls are not going to be having a good time of it. No. Oh, the dysfunction, the grotesque, satanic, Babylonian, again, call it what you will, evil and darkness and insanity that I witness on a day-to-day basis, that I feel. And I'm not talking so much about there on that screen, because yeah, that is something we might have to just walk away from, guys. I will continue to do YouTube videos because I feel that it's helpful. It helps me, and I hope it is of some sort of service to my subscribers. I'm not saying that I'm a guru or anything like that, or a teacher. I think we're all teachers here. I think we teach each other. Even when you meet people that are, whatever, you know, that hurt your feelings, they are a kind of teacher, because, you know, you learn from everything. But these lessons are often very, very painful. They're very painful. but I feel strongly that this is all about if this here, if that our, call it our true self, our identity, if we knew what we really are and what this place really is and how to use our magic, game over, right? Or you could say, well, how do you know that we have magic? We might not have any magic. Maybe we really are as worthless and powerless as we feel ourselves to be. But I don't believe that. It's like the whole idea again, and this comes up over and over and over again, that evil always wins. Well, if that's true, if you start to really go down that road and believe that, you're really feeding more and more darkness into the world. Standing in the light now is more important than ever before. And I don't mean to say that we shouldn't have negative emotions. I'm not saying that. Quite the reverse. I'm saying own your emotions, whatever comes up, whatever triggers it to come up as well. Whatever triggers it and shows you the truth of this place and the people in it, and how cruel they can be, how incredibly selfish, how increasingly more perverse and distorted and just plain weird their behavior is. And now all of that is a trigger, and it's a trigger, and it's another trigger, and it's another trigger. It's like everything is now a trigger. Everything is. It's just beyond belief. But it's showing us. It's showing us exactly how we've been had, what's been done to us, what's been done to, how we were something else, and we were taken and we were diminished and deprived and manipulated and gaslit and tormented and tortured. We were lied to in such a colossal, massive way as well. This place is an illusion. Even as I'm sat here on the sofa, I feel that. I know it. I don't know how I know it, but I know it intrinsically, that this place is a fucking lie. It's bullshit. It's an illusion. And it's like, oh, evil's so powerful and always wins. Well, that isn't true. If evil always wins, do you think there would be anything good left at all? Of course not. Evil would eliminate everything that is good and pure and true. It would. So that isn't true. There is a consciousness shift happening here, and it is showing for that it's an interactive thing. Hence, as within, so without, as above, so below, that sort of shit. Because what the external is showing us is an increased rate of darkness, an increased rate of insanity, and evil is insane. That is why the world is like that now. Because evil is completely and utterly insane. Evil is a disease, it's a contagion. So it isn't all that powerful, and it isn't smart, and it's not creative. It wants conflict. It is always against. This is why all these protests, and they've all fallen out now, and they're all at each other and hating each other. I remember when David Icke set up the People's TV channel something, within weeks it all went down like a fucking, like a torpedoed boat, or like the Titanic, boom, down. Because all the vitriol, the toxic, poisonous nastiness, it's that type of consciousness that I see at work here. It is a type of consciousness that's always been behind it all. Hell consciousness. Oh, I can feel it. I know full well what it is. It's being triggered all the time. It triggers itself in a way. So you go out and you increasingly just come across these people behaving like the psychopath, for example. Again, You know, you're there on the cycle path. Now this is a path for everybody. It's for people walking, it's for people cycling, whatever, doggies, you name it. So you make way for other people and other people make way for you. Live and let live, be and let be, that sort of thing. But increasingly you don't get that. You get people just refusing to get out the road when you're there. So you have to get off your bike and you have to go around them. I don't, I just swear at them. Oh, fuck off! And I'm not saying that's right, but that's just where I'm at the moment, because I've just had enough, and there comes a point where I'm thinking, all right, now I have to make a choice. And right now it feels, for some reason, it feels right to say, right, I've had enough, and your behaviour is disgusting, so fuck off. There was a guy with a little kid, and the little kid was on the bike, and they were right in the middle of the road, and I was oncoming. And they could see me, and they just were not getting out of the road. So I had to get off my bike. And as he was going by me, the guy went, "Oh, it's to share, you know." Which, if you see what I mean, it's to share, exactly. So why don't you let me have my tiny sliver of road here whilst you and your little boy, you know? Look, they were right in the middle of the road, and it was like incredible. It's to share, you know. So what did I say to him? Fuck off! And I don't care anymore. I'm done. Because people, the old adage of, well, they're just wounded, you see, so you need to give them some leeway, is those days are fucking over for me. I ain't doing it. It ain't right, it ain't acceptable. I'm wounded too, but I don't treat people like that. Not to say that we don't get it wrong, we do, we get it wrong all the time, but here's the difference. We do look at it, examine what's happened, yeah? Work through it, process it, make amends when, if necessary, or whatever. We go within, we look at it, we think, what does that mean? What is that really about? And we follow the thread back in, you know, to the root of it all. And it's always the same root. It's always the same root. And you see how it plays out everywhere, because people just don't behave right. People are selfish, people are mean, people are callous. There was, the gate wouldn't open, right? And I was on my bike, and it's got this lever, and I couldn't do it because, you know. And this woman just stood there, just like that, staring. And instead of just one step forward to help me out, no. She just stood there, just like that. And then some other couple of young people came, and they were just coming down the path, and they said, "Oh, here, no worries," and they helped, and they were great, and had good energy as well, and they were full of life, and it was like, thank you. And I felt a real sense of like connection, and it was like balm on a weary soul, really was, because when you do meet people that you have a connection with, because you smile at them and they smile back at you, and you can see it in the eyes, and there's life, there's soul there. It almost makes you cry with gratitude nowadays. It really does, because there's these others, that woman just stood there just watching me struggle opening that gate and not doing anything, and it was like, wow. It's madness, people. It really is. We don't need to put up with shitty, crappy, selfish, insane behaviour from others. I would say to choose your battles carefully, though, because what this realm wants, on one level it's triggering us, because it wants us to be in unawareness and to project outwards all our inner turmoil and stuff, which, no, not a good idea. It's like walking a tightrope. It really is. It's being in the moment, making choices, often quickly in the moment, like that guy with his kid in the road. I felt like I had every right to say, fuck off. Because that's just narcissist abuse, you know? It's to share, you know, like I was the one cycling in the middle of the road, not letting anyone pass. It was them doing that. It was like, you're a narcissist and I'm telling you to fuck off. But we continually feel this wow, strong emotions, all this trauma, all this rage because we know what's been done, and we still feel it our back against the wall because it's like, well. But what's coming to me more and more clearly, and this is in and of itself a process, this is in and of itself a fucking transition, because I keep seeing deer everywhere, right? So they just show up. I love deer, they're beautiful, you know, and they're such gentle creatures, right? And what I keep feeling is that rather than being in this state of war, which you feel that energy of war, it's war. I see the way they've treated me my whole life, how I was made to think I had to be good and kind and pliable. I had to be whatever it wanted me to be. I had to be all things to all people because it's important to be nice. What about me? What about my needs? And that's all, and I thought, wow, and I'm so angry. Rage, hate, blah. It gets, and because I'm really in deep, it's really the black diamond, you know. But anyway, but what, something new that's been coming in is where it says, what would happen if you laid down your weapons, right? First, we have to feel these feelings. We have to acknowledge that we've been severely mistreated. We have to start changing our behavior, the way we respond and work with that, so that when these people are perennially only interested in themselves, disengage from them. Sometimes you might want to say, excuse me, but do you mean to ask me how I am and then end up just talking about yourself and not giving a shit about how I am? Do you really care about how I am? There might be a point where you want to do that. There might also be a point where you think, you know what, it's not worth it. I know who this person, what this person is now, and I'm just not going to do that anymore. Again, it's like walking a tightrope, and it's difficult, to say the least. It's all feeling very difficult and very arduous and very backwards and very complicated and chaotic, and you don't always know because inside we're such a fucking mess. We're such a mess inside, trying to do the best we can, and well, and again, you know, expectations, you know, and people putting you on pedestals. I hate that. This is somebody, and because I've got another channel as well, which I'll talk about at some point in the future soon, but you know, and you put up some videos there, and it's like, oh, you're this and you're that, and it's like, no, I'm not this and I'm not that. I'm just me. I don't even know who I am yet, what I am yet, and what I'm doing, and what my purpose is, and what my destiny is. I don't even know that yet. Sometimes I think I'm great, sometimes I think I'm absolutely shit. I don't know who or what or where or I don't know anything. So who are you to say I am this and I am that and I'm so wonderful and I'm so amazing and I'm so great, and putting me on this pedestal, making me feel like, oh, you can't get it wrong now, you can't make any kind of mistake now, because, and the minute that you do, the minute you get something wrong, this is what happened with that woman that came toddling down the road here. This happened several years ago, but it was incredibly painful because it was like, one minute I was like, wow, this person. And at the time I didn't realise what was happening, you know, and you like the flattery, even though you should be aware that actually that isn't right. There's something not right about that, but... And then something happened, I said something to her that, boom, and next thing you know, you're Satan, you're the worst person they've ever known, and whoa, man, it was appalling. And this thing plays out a lot, so beware of the flatterers, people. Because the only type of friendship or relationship that we should have that is wholesome and right is of two people that understands that nothing is what it appears to be. And to talk about, you know, I feel like this is what's happening in my life and I don't quite understand it. What's happening in your life? It ought to be reciprocal, and that we need to learn to have a little bit of faith in ourselves and in each other. To share on an equal footing of our experiences, because that is a healing thing. Anything else is not worth entertaining. I mean, I've had so many experiences with people just in the last week alone, showing me so many things about myself and about my own stuff, which is, because it's pure chaos now, it's very difficult. It's like there's so many different angles and nuances and programs and implants and energies going on that it's like we can't see the wood for the trees. No, we can't. But the deer and the what would happen if you laid down your weapons. Now, we have these weapons for a reason, right? This aggression, this rage, this hate that we're feeling now for the fact that, wow. It's like when you adopt an animal from a shelter that's been severely abused and they're snarling and they're biting. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of love and a lot of commitment to show that dog that they are loved and it's going to be alright, sort of thing. You know, it's a bit like that with us. You need to bear with that and be with that. Accept these feelings. Don't take them out on other people. Though there are instances where it's like, I need to say something. There was the woman with the horse, I had to address that. And there were the people on the bike path and so forth and so on. It has to be done. But there's always that fear. It's like, no, you can't stand up for yourself. You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't go here. You can't do that. How dare you? You know that pushback, this. Something like a big black hand comes out of the sky and pushes you down and tells you that you don't have the right to stand up for yourself. You don't have the right to say no. You don't have the right to challenge somebody when they're continually showing that they're not interested in you and only want to talk about themselves. Or even you just telling somebody to, you know, I am not this, you're making me out to be some sort of like, almost like a godlike person. I'm not. I get it wrong all the time. And please, it's a kind of abuse, people. I'm telling you. We're not perfect. There is no such thing at all in this place. Fuck. We don't know who or what we are yet. We're going to absolute hell. We're slowly beginning to, we're doing this. And it's tough as fuck, there are no words for this. This is really, really difficult. So on top of that, to be put under that kind of pressure, that kind of expectation. I get this all the time. That woman in the health food shop used to do it. Because you're so this and you're so that. Labeling me as this and as that. And as a direct result of that, yes, I did feel somewhat flattered. Again, not in great awareness of that. And then there I am, giving. And, oh, well, giving her advice, and I know I'm good at giving advice, but it's not my job to do that. And I realised now that I was just being fed off of, really, it was parasitical as fuck, and it's like, what the heck? So many things to become aware of here, people. This is a time of great transition. But because it's like a building site, you know, there's dust everywhere, you can't see a fucking thing, yet the house is being built, as it were. But it's very hard when we have strong feelings of fear. Like, I'm not going to be alright, I'm not going to be alright. You know, when you have a lot of health problems that are quite acute as well, and you're very depressed, and you're very anxious, and you're barely getting any sleep. And then, it's just so many different things going on, it's just madness. And then that deer thing come in. That deer thing, the sort of, that type of medicine. Gentleness. Just let go. When you stop being at war with it all, when you stop being in this mode of vengeful, hateful resistance and I don't trust you and I don't trust anything and evil always wins. It's like a shift into a higher realm, a higher consciousness. And I really believe that is it, that's the gateway out of the trauma-based dark realm I think the golden world is already here, and I think this place, this realm, will begin to disintegrate a bit here, a bit there, a bit and we'll start to see glimpses of the actual world. I call it the golden world. I don't know why, but I just do. That is the true reality. Maybe we are creating it as we go. We are building the new world. And this world will begin to disappear bit by bit, and the new world, the true world, infinite love and infinite creativity, will begin to emerge more and more and more gradually. Maybe, wouldn't that be great, people? Yeah. Gentle, childlike. Yesterday this sentence came to me, and I don't know, it just popped into my head from absolutely nowhere, and it was like children. Let's just, because I wrote it down, it just popped into my head. It was weird. It was, yes, like children at play in the cosmic fields. There was also this squirrel, because I was on my bike going along, and I was looking at that tree and I'm thinking, what the fuck is that? And it was this animal, I could see it was an animal, it was fur, and it was swinging like that. And then I thought it was a squirrel, and it had its tail around this branch, and it was hanging upside down, and it was doing that. And it had this nut. And I thought, wow, that's like Tarzan the squirrel. Tarzan the squirrel. And then he curled back up and he went up into the tree, you know. And I also saw, and this was very strange, I saw a squirrel sitting like that, squirrel here next to a crow, crow here, right next to each other, like that. Like touching each other, sitting there. And it looked to me as if they were, well, having a chat. When I came by and they could hear the my voice also, because I was talking to somebody, they went like that, but they were there, next to each other, having a chat, a crow and a squirrel. Because increasingly I see now that animals they know what's what, just like us, you know. They really are, they're amazing. And they're doing their own thing, and they're going through this as well. Oh well. So yeah, people, I think we're heading into perhaps onto a new level, a whole new way of perhaps experiencing and working with this. So rather than, there has to be a profound shift, a healing within, where we have acknowledged what's been done to us, all the mind control, all the gaslighting, all the abuse, all the torture, all the inner brokenness, yeah, has to be acknowledged, has to be felt, all this reactionary, all of that too. And that will then lift us up. We will emerge from that to a higher level, and there is a shitload more peace, there is a shitload more clarity there. There is literally us saying, you know what, I don't need these weapons anymore, and we can lay them down. That's a level of experiencing the magic and being able to work the magic, I feel. Because it is, and I've felt this for a long time, that is where it's at. That is this higher, true consciousness, our real consciousness is childlike, like children at play in the cosmic fields. That is where it's at. That is the power. It fears not vulnerability. You see, it doesn't realize, that's not even a question. You see, where we are at now, it's like, well, that's vulnerable, that's fragility. You know, in this realm, let's face it, children are being raped and tortured and murdered, you know, so the infinite child, the alchemical child, as it were, infinite power, infinite love, infinite creativity, is being murdered here. So again, we've divorced that, we've pushed that away in favour of, I'm big and I'm strong and I'm going to pulverise you motherfuckers, right? And that is the consciousness of conflict, of hate, of rage, of vengeance, of insanity, increasingly like we see it, and that is dying. It is dying. And for there to be a profound healing, all the things that we truly want to experience, that we want to bring to life here, the magic and the miracles can only come from the true consciousness, which is very childlike. Innocence, purity. It has no need to fight. It doesn't feel aggressive or violent or hateful or rage. It seems as if it lets go, and all that shit and all that evil and all that distortion just poof. There's no need to grapple with it, to subdue it, or to destroy it. There's no need to do that. There's no need to have the war, to end all wars. We need to opt out of the war altogether. That is what I feel is coming here. That is what this is about now. So we need to bear with it, people. Feel the feelings, yes, for sure, and scream into cushions, or go to some place where there's nobody there and scream and scream and scream. Just let it out safely, but let it out, acknowledge it, and know that these feelings are very much part of the course. You're not getting it wrong. Feel. If there are situations where you feel like somebody's totally taking the piss and you just had enough and you want to say something, do so. In awareness as much as you can, you know, it's difficult. If it's somebody that is always going to be in your life one way or another, always, forget that I said always, but somebody that you're going to have to interact with, then you might be very careful how you deal with that, because for obvious reasons. But if it's a stranger, like the guy in the middle of the road, like that, yeah, feel free to say fuck off, you know, because that's just fucking shit. So, poof, yes, fine. But choose your battles carefully, people. Do not create more trouble for yourself, because it just isn't worth it. I mean, stand up for yourself, have your own back, love yourself, be there, come home to yourself. All of that, very important. We are going to be emerging into that dear medicine. I can feel that. I can feel it here. And it's so powerful, you know. There's such a colossal lie that power is all about this sort of like big, brawny man, like, yeah, come on, I'm gonna, you know, crush you motherfuckers. That is not power, that's fear. That's fear, that's bullshit. That dear medicine energy, that child has no fear. It knows that there is no notion of, oh, there is an entity and I have to fight and I have to keep myself safe. None of that exists there. It is okay, cool. So that's where we're heading. I can feel it, and it's going to be okay. But you know, we're not there quite yet. So yes, when we have those moments where this is hell and we ain't never getting out of here, that's an illusion, but it's a very clever one. Because we are experiencing hell within and external too. And it's walking the tightrope, and it's loving yourself and holding yourself at the same time, dealing with the fallout of all this insane bollocks and all this nonsense, and recognizing all these patterns, and, you know, working out that, no, that's no longer acceptable to me, and that is no longer acceptable, and that is not right, and feeling that and understanding that, and then alchemy. There's so much going on, people. I think we're doing the best we can. It will have to be good enough. It will be good enough. So that's it. So I'll leave it there today, because I've been going on and on and on and whatnot. So yeah, just do the best that you can, people, you know. I feel that it will really work out beautifully, and it will turn out to be intensely meaningful and all worth it. I do feel that. And I think we are closer than we feel. It feels like it's never going to happen, whatnot, but no. It's going to be alright. Toodaloo.